Hey prayer fam, welcome back to the Prayer Corner. This is the place where we talk all things prayer, where we learn prayer, grow in prayer, and become a people of prayer. My name is Melika J. Smith, and I am the word gifter and the prayer advocate. I'm so happy to have you back as we have been on a journey to setting a foundation to understand prayer. In the past few weeks, we spoke about the definition of prayer. We recognize that prayer is not just communicating with God in our simple understanding of the term, but it is a little bit more advanced than communicating or making expressions to God. But it is a spiritual partnership that allows God to transmit His will into the earth through us. And so when we pray, we are positioning ourselves to allow God to operate on the earth through our vessels. When we pray, we're allowing God to have His way on earth as it is in heaven. The past couple of weeks allowed us also to explore the framework of prayer. We looked at how prayer should involve a sender, a receiver of the prayer or the message. It involves a message, a channel, and feedback. Now, we also acknowledged that the sender, the receiver, the message, the channel, and the feedback will look different for every kind of prayer that we will ever pray, right? However, no matter what it looks like, it requires the heart, the sincerity of heart in which we offer these prayers and these expressions to God that makes it effective in our lives. We looked at the types of prayers, and we listed quite a few, at least 8 types of prayer that we can actively involve ourselves in. We spoke about how many a times we tend to focus on prayers of petitions, just asking God for what we want to see happen in our lives. But prayer also involves intercession, taking ourselves out of the picture and allowing God to work on behalf of someone else. We spoke about prayers of adoration, prayers of blessing, prayers of vows. Prayer involves all types of involvements. It allows us to give ourselves so fully to God and allow Him to operate through us. Prayer is not just limited to us asking God for what we want and, allowing Him to just do something in the earth for us. He's not a genie, but He desires to have communion and partnership with us. And that, my friends, is what prayer gives. That is the opportunity that prayer creates for us. And so with that understanding of prayer, recognizing that when we pray, something always happens, something always changes, something always breaks or moves or shifts or surrenders. When we look at all those elements of prayer, it begs us to think about our own prayer lives. It asks us to look at how we have been praying, what we have been praying, and to wonder, have we been praying right? Have we been making sense in our prayers? Have our prayers been availing much? Today, I challenge us with one question. Which of your prayers are getting answered? We can ask ourselves, which prayer makes sense in my own life? The prayers, my friends, that are answered must come into alignment with God's heart. The prayers that get answered fall into one of these 3 categories. Number 1, they glorify God. The prayers that get answered must glorify God. The prayers that get answered must build God's kingdom. The prayers that get answered must edify God's people. And so as we make use of the different types of prayers in our lives, as we make use of our understanding of what prayer is allowing, God to transmit his will into the earth, as we make use of our understanding that prayer always makes a difference into the earth, ensure that what we pray is falling into one of these three categories. They are glorifying God, they are building up God's kingdom, and they are edifying God's people. Prayer was not intended to manipulate God for what we want. It was not intended to tear people down, to curse people out, to manipulate situations and people for our gain. But prayer must glorify God, it must edify God's people, and it must build up God's kingdom. What prayers are you praying today? What effects are your prayers availing today? What answers are you getting from your prayers today? May you think about it. As you do, don't forget to involve yourself in prayer. Give yourself to prayer. Learn prayer, because it's a process, it's a journey, it's a continuous learning spectrum. We don't just master prayer overnight, but as we practice prayer, as we give ourselves to prayer, we become better at this discipline that God so desires of us. Remember, if you want to stay up, then you must pray up. Until next time, take care. Keep on praying.